Hello YouTube watch lovers and welcome to this new episode. You might have guessed that today we're talking about Tudor, and I have these gorgeous 39mm Tudor on display, and I have the Black Bay Pro on my wrist, which I'm gonna talk about. This is the novelty for today, but here are the Ranger and the Pelagos 39. And to give the chronological connection of this channel, here is a Patek 2022 catalog, just to kind of say yes, I'm into pure chronology. And there is my Incipio 9 that will make an entrance, just to show you the difference in the case design of this watch, which I introduced earlier in this year. Well, but it's all about Tudor really coming up with a trio of 39mm, just perfect watches, just beautiful General Explorer type watch, Submariner type diver watch. And it all was started by the Explorer 2, the Black Bay Pro on my wrist, which Tudor released back in, I think it was March. This was Watches and Wonders of 2022, so quite early in the year Tudor released the Black Bay Pro. I really waited because there were so many different attitudes. People were saying this watch is too thick, this watch is too thin, this watch wouldn't fit in with the Tudor range of watches. Some people said that it's absolutely beautiful. Well, I waited and got more experience in wearing the 39mm Ranger and 39mm Pelagos. Doesn't want to keep proper shape, but I think that Tudor created the best watches of 2022. There is no question about it. I love them, and I got all three of them now with me. And well, the Incipio is just lying there on the side at the moment. And these are all Tudor watch boxes, but I've chosen only two actual watch boxes. These are outer boxes. Okay, we've done the introduction. Let us talk a little bit in detail about the Black Bay Pro. This was the first 39mm novelty of 2022, and the watch is gorgeous. The watch is gorgeous, although I have to say that I was waiting for the polar version of this watch, and I really thought that I would buy the polar. I missed the moment in April, and well, I built up my relationship with my Tudor distributor since April, since I purchased both of these 39mm Tudors. So now it was no surprise that they offered me the 39mm Black Bay Pro, well, as a Christmas present, and I immediately went and purchased the watch. Still, I think this is the best value, proper GMT, the true GMT function in Rolex-related brand, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful with this steel bezel, with these GMT numbers on the bezel. I will do a macro expansion of the three watches that I'm showing to you now. I will do the macro shots towards the end of this video, just to finish off in full swing. But I wanted to show you that the watch sits perfect on my 18 centimeter circumference wrist. I think these were all unnecessary comments, that the watch will be too wide, that the watch wouldn't be fitting the wrist. No, it's as good as the other 39mm. You can see that the 39mm watch case with its well, to tell you correctly, this is the 47mm lug-to-lug distance. It perfectly curves my wrist, just perfectly suits my wrist. 18 centimeter circumference wrist. I just couldn't wish for a better GMT watch. Really, 51mm of the Explorer 2 is a little bit. I'm struggling with the dimensions of the Rolex Explorer 2, and I was talking about it in a different episode on my channel. You're welcome to visit the episode. I will put a link in the top right corner. There should be now a link appearing for you to that video review. So I am enjoying the Black Bay Pro, enjoying the GMT function of this watch. I am liking the way it sits on my wrist, and I'm liking all the 3 Tudor watches that were released in 2022. I think they're just perfect. They're just perfect for me. They perfectly suit in my, well, the watches that I can afford, the watches that I can put in my collection without feeling any serious strain, like buying 3 Pateks or even 3 Rolexes would be a little bit out of my range. But getting the 3 Tudors is just fantastic, and each one made a very good introduction, a very good episode for me on my watch review channel. So let me give you the characteristics, the measurements of the Black Bay Pro. So it's a 39mm case diameter. It is slightly wider. The case is wider than on the other watches that I'll be showing to you today. So this is 14.5mm, but you see it doesn't overpower my wrist. It sits very comfortably, and I'm wearing it, and I'm very comfortable with the Black Bay Pro. So I have no complaints. Earlier in the year, I introduced this Incipio 9, this homage to the Rolex 1655 made by a Japanese watch journal. So it is a watch designed by Rolex fan club for their members, and I think it looks too much like a 1655. It wants to be the 1655. It has this additional markers at 2.5 minutes. Well, these are GMT hours, and they're all marked on the dial of the watch, and this is just a bit too much. I think, although I have to say that this is a much thinner watch, this is a significantly thinner watch. You can compare the thickness of the watch case compared to the Black Bay Pro. But Black Bay Pro wears this significantly thicker watch case very well on my wrist. I'm almost not feeling the fact that this watch case is about 2 millimeter wider than the one on the Incipio 9. So they managed to put this watch into a smaller case because of the ETA 2893 movement that is in the Incipio. But it is not a pure traveler's GMT. It doesn't have a jumping hour hand. It has a jumping GMT hand and the date adjustment. It's not really true Rolex movement. Don't know what will be happening to the Incipio, whether I would want to move it on to a proper collector who would appreciate the watch. Maybe need to try to start my own eBay auction for the Incipio. Just don't see myself having both of these Explorer 2 type watches in my collection. Really prefer the Tudor. Really prefer the feeling of the Tudor. It is solid. It is a bigger watch. It is a bigger watch than, for example, the Ranger. You can compare the width of the watch case. So for the Ranger, it is 12.4. For the Pelagos, I somehow measured 12 millimeters, so it is still a much thinner watch, the Pelagos, but it doesn't have the date, it doesn't have the GMT function. I'm liking these watches. I'm liking the fact that I'm doing the review of all these 3 watches at once, introducing the Black Bay Pro. No problem with Black Bay Pro on the 18 centimeter circumference wrist. It is perfect. I would even say slightly slimmer wrist can still wear the Black Bay Pro, and you can really enjoy the watch. I'm liking it. I'm really not feeling. I think that the weight of the watch is so well compensated by the buckle, by the T-fit clasp of this watch. It's just perfect. It's just perfect, and I can truly recommend get it before the prices go up for Christmas. Buy this watch. It will be a few £100 dearer in a matter of a few days. So if you have an opportunity to buy the Black Bay Pro, and it makes a good introduction showing the other 2 watches, please watch their full reviews on my channel. I'm liking the watches, just think that changing too many watches, putting them on would be too much for this video. Just towards the end of this video, I will do some macro shots showing some of the features of each watch, but each watch individually. So before I move on to the macro lens shots on the watches, I wanted just to give you the measurements of the case of this watch. So 39 millimeter case diameter is 47 millimeters lug to lug distance, which makes the watch just very good for my 18 centimeter circumference wrist. I'm starting to fight with over 50 millimeter lug to lug, but this perfectly fits me. This is a 14.5 millimeter, so it's not too oversized, the case width, and the way it sits on my wrist is just about perfect. It's just about perfect. Here I will put this on once again. So the thickness of this watch is majorly constricted by the movement, and this is the MT 5652. So MT 5652 movement is the one that gives the date and GMT hand complication, and obviously this is jumping our hand to correct the local time wherever you are in the world. So this is a proper traveler's GMT movement, proper traveler's GMT watch. And now finally I would want to do some macro shots. Okay, so here is the Ranger, and really gorgeous dial. Really like the styling. Just lume markers, this gorgeous red tip of the second hand. Really liking this shot. Really like the way I position my lighting and the actual watch. I don't want to be moving it, not to make any distractions, just to have perfect focus on this dial. You can see that there are some reflections coming up. Just a gorgeous shot of the dial of the watch, just to have it full screen, like the Ranger. Really a simple watch, simple time only watch, but it does what it says on the tin. It keeps perfect time, day after day after day, not requiring any maintenance, not requiring any service, not yet, of course. It hasn't been in use for such a long while. Okay, onto the Pelagos. Okay, the Pelagos 39. I want to get rid of these reflections. I'm really liking this watch. I do understand the owners of the 42mm Big Brother who say we've got a better tool watch. Yes, but mine is glitzier, mine is just nicer. I think this is the best alternative to the 1240-60, and I'm really liking the red Pelagos line on the dial. Really makes this watch stand out. So, a lot of reflections from the lights in my studio, and I really want to get the best possible expansion of this beautiful dial. Really liking the markers, really liking everything about this watch. Probably my perfect ceramic bezel diver. Okay, onto the Black Bay Pro now. Historically, Black Bay Pro was released before the other two 39mm Tudors, but for me, this just finished my collection of these watches. Really like the yellow hand, really like the stainless steel bezel and the markings on this Tudor, which are significantly different to those of the Rolex Explorer 2. Really like the vintageness, the heritage of this watch. Really enjoying the Black Bay Pro. I'm hoping that you are liking these expansions, these big dials on your screen. Really takes me some time with positioning of the lights in my studio, with just trying to portray these watches with the most of what they deserve to do this filming for you. Gorgeous lens, really like my Canon 100mm macro, and beautiful watches. Okay, I hope that you liked this episode and that you found it useful. I mean, I really wanted to bring together all these 39mm Tudors and do the review of the Black Bay Pro, which is now part of my collection. So please comment, please subscribe to my channel, please follow my adventures with watches, please like, subscribe and follow my channel, and I'll get some interesting watch talk for you in the close future. Bye.